presenter of the BBC radio programme Women's Hour has sparked controversy after writing an article which appeared to question whether transgender women are real women. Presenter Dame Jenny Murray said transgender women had grown up with all the privilege of being a man, but didn't have the shared experience of growing up female. Well, we're joined now by the feminist activist Julie Bindel and Jane Fay, a writer and campaigner on lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender issues. Julie, to you first. Is being a woman an experience or a matter of genetics?
Neither. I never use the term real woman because I don't feel that I'm a real woman. I've no idea what it feels like to be a woman. It's a social construct that's been imposed upon girls as we grow up. So what I would say is gender is imposed upon us. It's a rule that harms women and benefits men. And biological sex is a material reality. So I am a woman. And the reason why I say this vehemently is because as a feminist, we have to recognise that men have power over us in every structure of life. And we are raped and murdered and we are paid less than men because we are women. So I would refute the notion of real woman because that just sounds too essentialist.
So let's remove the real from the
Yes.
statement. But are transgender people women?
No, because if you are looking at the experience of growing up a girl, and if you then become a woman, you have had various, all over the world, wherever we are, we've had the fear and reality of men's violence, of men's supremacy, of men's power. So when you come to self-identification, when you have been raised a boy and raised a man, despite the countless and endless problems you would have as being transgender or gay or whatever when it resists the norm, then you bring all that experience with you. And identification is fine. I sit here with Jane. I'm perfectly happy to use the pronoun she. Jane is sitting here identifying as a woman. It is not the same as experiencing girlhood and the oppression of growing up as a woman.
Well, let's see what Jane thinks about that. I mean, Jane, does someone who did grow up a man really know what it is to be a woman?
It's to be a woman with different experience, and you grow up as you grow up. And I was fascinated. I mean, we're going to start with a little bit of agreement here, saying neither of us think the term real woman is a very helpful phrase at all. Jenny Murray started out with an introduction saying, well, she's not like these radical feminists, not like Julie Bindel, because, you know, she's married and she's in a heterosexual relationship, which sounded strikingly like she was going down the road of saying, well, if you're not going out with a man, you're not a real woman.
But she didn't say that. She you know, called for respect and protection from bullying and violence and equality
absolutely.
for all.
I think the real issue, and if that is the case, then that is problematic in terms of what she said, because she's not daft. She knows that she is setting her hair running. If she doesn't want there to be bullying, if she doesn't want there to be stuff, I regard the debate about is there a real womanity, is there a real masculinity as problematic, because it sets people apart, it creates categories, and it's a problematic debate that we're having in society. We've got, are you a real Brit? Are you really disabled? Are you really this? Are you really that? It creates categories, but what it does do is it sets off, people hear real, they also hear, are you right? And that is what I've heard over the past. When people say, you're not real, you're not right, that has actually been actual prelude to someone trying to attack me. In other words, the two elide.
Really?
Well, I mean, feminists have been blamed for the election of Trump, for the deaths of trans teenagers, for all kinds of bigoted attacks on trans people that actually are also you know, my enemies are Jane's enemies. You know, women know fine well what bigotry is. We experience all kinds of violence, and 2 of us are killed every single, you know, week in this country because of domestic violence. So we all know what bigotry is. But Jenny Murray hasn't set off any hair running, Jane. This is a debate that has a McCarthyite, a nasty McCarthyite bent to it. We are not allowed as feminists anymore to say gender is a social construct. It's not real. Gender isn't in the brain. There is no male brain and female brain. We are not innately drawn to pink if we're girls and trucks and climbing trees if we're boys. And the transgender orthodoxy that we're not allowed to dispute anymore lest we get fired from our jobs or no platformed, as I have been, you know, is crazy. It's saying that a penis is a female body part if it's on a trans woman. Now, because we are oppressed by our biology, because we have unwanted pregnancies, can't get access to abortion, are raped and abused countless, endless times by men, We know what oppression is, and we have to say that female biology matters, and we cannot start using terms like chest feeding and pregnant people because it denies the experience of an oppressed people. I could not say today that because I've always felt black, I am black, and then tell a black person that they're wrong and oppressing me for saying I'm not black. It's the same
It's an absolute straw man.
But there is somebody who has done that, Rachel.
And she's been monstered.
That.
She has been monstered, and yet Caitlyn Jenner is seen as a hero.
Jay, can I ask you? Before we did discuss this today, it was something I have to say that I felt uncomfortable talking about, because you do find whenever you do talk about transgender issues, in terms of terminology, it's very. I find it very easy, and I consider myself to be, entirely unenlightened and unprejudiced. Very easy to use wrong terminology. It is a debate that a lot of people shy away from, because very often you can receive a great deal of abuse from talking about it. Do you not think that we need to be, in order to promote understanding of transgender issues, it needs to be something that we can all talk about a lot more freely?
Absolutely, if we can talk about it. The problem that you have is that so many of these debates become debates about people's right to exist. That's where they go. I know you're saying no.
It's not.
No, and I'm not making the accusation, and nor am I. Again, you're saying that we're having a go at feminists. It's not having a go at feminists. I'm having problems with one particular set of comments, because the way the news cycle goes is one person goes out there, says, I'm saying something really different and strange and original, and it's not different and strange. We've heard this time and time and time again, and then they claim to be being shut down.
Every single person, every single feminist, not bigots, not nutheads, every single feminist who dare, and I can count them all, unfortunately, here and now within this news item, who has dared to say, hold on, gender is a social construct. There's no male brain or female brain. You can't just turn up with a penis and a beard and say, I'm a woman and I demand you listen to me. Every time we say this, while still respecting the rights of trans people, while standing in front of you to ward off the bullies, because they're the same ones that go for me, every time we say this, we are no-platformed, pilloried, and we are at risk of losing our jobs.
No,
and
you're
it's
not.
good.
You are not.
Yes, we are.
No, you're not.
You've seen it's happened to me. And you've seen it's now happened to Jenny Murray. There's a petition out for her to lose her job at the BBC for saying the man isn't a woman.
Two responses, Julie. First of all, unless you're using the royal we, you have been no-platformed, but beyond that, the actual incidents...
of my feminist colleagues, everyone has said it.
Hasn't she? Germaine Greer also.
Germaine Greer, Sarah Dighton. There have been several feminists who have been...
Germaine hasn't, but can I just say, this newsroom has sort of no-platformed Germaine Greer. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, and producers out there listening, producer, I'm not going to go there.
Well, I said, as far as I'm aware, at Sky News.
Allow me to explain this. I said, can I actually repeat some of what Germaine Greer has said on public platforms? And I was asked what, as she said, no.
Because she swears. Because she's Australian.
I know. Okay, she's Australian, she swears.
But
Tracy
it's Jenny Murray's comments that we're talking about today.
Yes, we are, but Julie will bring this out into all feminists.
I know, but Jenny Murray is, she's a national treasure. Jenny Murray is a fairly liberal feminist. I hope she'll forgive me for saying this. She isn't a radical. What she has said is, look, you can't just rock up when you're 60 years old, like Caitlyn Jenner has done, and say, I'm a woman, and then have trans activists say, she's always been a woman. What, even when she was running and earning millions and using male privilege? Okay. Really?
We haven't got long, so please, Jane, answer.
This is cherry picking. The point is, yes, you will find, as we both know, you will find people on both sides who take quite extreme positions. Just for the record, I do not think Jenny Murray should be sacked or anything of the sort. I do think that it raises questions, because I know from the past that there are trans people who are scared of actually doing an interview with her. No, that is absolutely genuine, and it raises... Well, you say it's ridiculous. Are you going to tell me? No, are you going to tell me now?
Women face all kinds of violence and threats.
Yes,
you're frightened of being in a studio with Jenny Murray. You don't know you're born. You don't know you're born.
So you're very happy if a male presenter says that they don't think that certain domestic violence victims are real victims. You're quite happy for them to carry on interviewing domestic violence?
Of course I am, because they'll refute it and they'll use facts and logic to knock that argument down. They're not going to kill us on set. Jenny Murray's not going to strangle a trans person in the studio.
It creates a difficulty when you're carrying out an interview if you feel that you have got a hostile interviewer, which I don't feel here.
Then let's never be interviewed by anyone that disagrees with us. I will never be interviewed again.
OK. Well, it's good to talk to you both and good to hear both.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.